Good morning, Gotchi gang. How is everyone doing today? Looking forward to a great Aavegotchi DAO meeting here. Lots to catch up on. Hey, good morning, Hefe.
Good morning, how are you?
Pretty good. How about you, man? How's
I'm
your
doing
Sunday
good,
going
man.
so far?
So we had our pre-summit yesterday.
Yeah.
The official date of our summit is actually July 16th, so we're still kind of very much getting everything together. But yesterday was interesting because we all hung out on our GMI parcel after you guys left, and we had a decent turnout. I think there was maybe 20 or more gotchis there hanging out on our parcel, all decked out, and we were able to get some more feedback on what people would like to see at the summit, and it was good. So I think everybody's on the same page with that. We have a Notion page people can actually follow along live as we're kind of like planning the summit out. So I'll actually drop the link for that down below. Uh, but yeah, it's going well. In short, it's going really well, and I think it's going to be a really exciting event. We have Jesse, who hopefully I think might be talking about IP rights in the Gotchiverse, kind of
Mhm.
doing a little IP workshop. So I think that's going to be valuable, and hopefully we can get some developers to come out from our community and talk about what they're building and give us some background, share some info, and what maybe some new things coming to the Gotchiverse.
You mean from our side, developers? Or,
Just in general, the tool builders of the Gotchiverse.
yeah, yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I was thinking more about it. We won't have the party portal ready yet, but I think this would be we don't have enough time to my robotic. Oh no.
Slightly robotic.
Yeah, I'll change my VPN here, try and find something better. It's raining here, so yeah, it might be a little spotty. See if that's any better. I was saying we probably not gonna have the party portal ready by the 16th, but I think it should be doable to like make a special page on the intro where you spawn for upcoming like for events that are live. And so we could probably make it possible for people to spawn directly on those parcels. Just give us the IDs of where they are and we'll make that happen. That sounds I think it'd be a nice way to get more people in uh go into this meeting so they don't have to walk there manually.
Wow, that's that's actually a great idea. So maybe something we'll note for our Notion is for each attendee coming to the summit, we'll just make sure we grab a Gotchi ID that they're going to be using. I guess that's what you would
Mhm.
need.
Okay, so this is gonna be limited like what is this limited access or are you
Well,
expecting like anyone from Gotchi Gang to be able to come on the parcel?
oh yeah, so we will be that's a good point. We will be live streaming the event, but the attendees for the event, ideally we would like, the guild managers, kind of more leadership roles to be there on our
Mhm.
parcel. So we're going to be inviting those people specifically, but that is a good point. I guess, if we're going to be doing it on our parcel, pretty much anybody could just come and stand there and hang out, but I
Yeah.
don't think that's a bad thing. If we had walls, I'd maybe wall in our parcels and have limited access, but it's a little early for that. So I think we'll just I guess if you want to come hang out on the parcel and you're not management, leadership, you could still come hang out, I guess. But you won't be able to get into the actual meeting itself. That
Right.
you won't get a seat at the table per se, but you can watch the live stream and you can hang out on the parcel if you want.
Yeah, it might be fun for the guilds to like bring some of their most active members on to just hang out, kind of show of strength.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool actually if the guilds would actually invite some of their members to come hang out on the parcel, dressed in their guild wearables. You know, maybe not specific
Ooh,
wearables, but every guild has their themes, right? So if we had, it'd be kind of cool if we saw the Wagme warriors all show up, all decked out in their garbs, in their wares.
yeah, that would be awesome. That would add like an element of kind of make it a little bit more social, and we'll probably have the chat bubbles done by then as well, so people can be chatting with each other on the parcel.
Oh, that would be very cool. That'd be very cool, to have the chat feature because it's going to be July 16th. So, I mean, there is some time still to maybe that'd be a great time to test it out actually, because we'll have a lot of people on the parcel using
Mhm.
their bubbles and stuff. So it'll be a good way to just test the feature out.
Yeah, yeah, cool. I'm excited. I'll bring this up at our next dev call, and we'll see. We'll make a task for basically making like a separate event section, which we plan to do anyway. But we won't have the fancy NFT for it yet, but we can just do it manually for now.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That's perfect.
Cool.
Um, did you say there's going to be an NFT for this? Is that like some alpha?
So yeah, it's like what we're thinking is the each parcel will be able to equip this in station, and the parcel can kind of charge it up, and would you'd be spending alchemica to charge the portal. Oh no, am I going robotic again?
You're okay now. You just it was
It's
just
gonna
a
come and
first.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining. Hold on, let me
I
try.
was getting most of what you were saying there.
So yeah, so the portal, this is Golden Cross's idea. I might be butchering it, but the general idea is that if you want to have a link to your parcel directly, you can equip this portal installation, and you can spend alchemica to kind of charge it up, or glitter or alchemica, probably either. And when it's charged, that would emit like a blockchain event. We would pick it up, and then we would add your parcel to a page on the kind of like the loading screen. And you can also, when you charge it, you can also put like a title for your event. So if it's a one-time thing, you could charge it for like, 48 hours, and then the event would end and it would get taken off the front page. If you wanted something longer, we'll have to think about how long we want them to be. Um, it could be something that lasts forever. We kind of need to go over that detail. But in general, it would be basically a way to kind of advertise your portal, or your parcel on the front page of the Gotchiverse.
Oh, that's very cool. Because I know Jesse was just touching on the event part of that, where you'd be able to plan an event, and have this installation or NFT on your parcel, and then that would allow you to, like you said, charge it up. I did not know you'd charge it up. That's awesome. Um, and then that would determine the amount of time, I guess, that would be up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, very cool. Looking forward to that. Trying that out.
So yeah, we won't
So
have that live for this event, but we can do something similar just without the NFT. We can just link it
yeah,
directly to your guys' parcels.
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, let's try it out. It's awesome. So for today, we don't have a whole lot of new business. We have some just old business. We gotta just make sure we are on the same page on. We had a proposal, couple proposals, I guess, that have gone through, so we can talk about those. There's a bunch that have closed now. And then is T-Bird in the room? Let's see. But if T-Bird is in the room, I've invited him to come up and speak about his boat project. I think he's ordered some new decals for it, like some Aavegotchi, or I don't think he's ordered them yet. He's maybe in the process of that, but we can, talk to him about what he's doing, and he has a somewhat of a vision for how he wants to create some content around this. So I'm curious to hear more about that. If he shows up here today, we'll get him up here. We also have John Gotchi in the room. No pressure to come up on stage, but if you'd like to come up and talk about your education, Aavegotchi education course slash program that you're working on, you're welcome to come up and also, let people know what you're working on, and if the DAO can help you out in any way, then please, come up and talk to us. But so aside from that, let's go to the Miro board. I'll throw the link down here for you guys. Oh yeah, hardcore's on it. Okay, no future. If the DAO puts out a sig prop. Oh man, that would be an interesting proposal.
A little bit of the scope of the Aavegotchi protocol. We would,
You cut out there for a bit, Dan.
I was just saying if it's a bit out of the scope of the Aavegotchi protocol, but we could think about it for sure. I think he's got all the recordings somewhere.
I mean, imagine releasing the tracks as NFTs. I think that would be kind of crazy.
Yeah,
We'll
music
be all-
NFTs.
If you guys need to raise more funds for Pixelcraft, that's one way to do it. You can release your Gotchi NFTs with the original tracks.
Yeah.
We got John Gotchi has his hand up. Uh, if he wants to come up and talk
Hmm.
for a little bit about his about what he's doing, I think it's pretty
Sure.
interesting. Good morning.
Hello, everyone.
Good
How are you
morning.
tonight? Oh,
Very
good
well.
morning for certain.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, actually,
you're in a different part of the world, right? You're in Europe, I think.
actually, no, actually, I'm in Seoul, but yeah, I'm French, so I'm here since not long ago. But yeah,
Ah,
it's like it's like 11 p.m. here, so
okay.
that's perfect actually. And
Okay.
yeah, for those who don't know me, I'm actually working on a kind of a school, like a Web3 school that could like let non Web3 people to come and learn about like main protocols, how to use them, uh, what they what they really can understand, and make it really user friendly. That's really the mission. Oh,
Oh,
I've
oh, you're
been
back.
in the,
You're good. Sorry,
like,
you just cut out for a sec there.
oh, since when I stopped.
You were talking about
So
Web3 school that had like a great user interface.
yeah, that's the point. It's like to bring like non-Web3 people to learn and know about like main protocols, how fun it is to use Web3, and actually this is the main project. And after, I would like to make kind of like cool feature, like funny feature with Aavegotchi, like for the developer, if you know OpenZeppelin and Ethernote, it's like a kind of the same. So you will have to instantiate like levels and finish the level. And I was thinking while I'm working on the designing the level right now, I was thinking like on making like So on making a reward, so like imagine the people they complete the quest. If they could, like, if they would need to claim the reward, they would need to go to the Gotchiverse and make like an interaction, whatever it is, but could link the school and also the Aavegotchi metaverse.
Oh, that's very cool. So primarily, I guess it's a Web3 school. It's gonna. I know you're showing us some of the features. I think one of them was like this ability to use the how to use an AMM was, for example, one of
Mhm.
your lessons for the school. So it'd be
Yeah,
kind of cool to integrate that into into the Gotchiverse somehow and have some extra missions
mhm.
or quests like Aavegotchi related quests. That'd
Exactly.
be
Yeah. Since Aavegotchi, there's like almost all the concept we can find in Web3, like DAO, like NFTs, and so on. So I think there is a lot of like concept to think about, and also I would really wish to maybe connect more people uh, using the Aavegotchis. So let's say that there would be like the free to use school like quests, but also special content for those owning the Aavegotchis. So I know that the bots, they are the nightmare like in Web3 or games. So that could like maybe make a stop to them, like adding features with like Aavegotchis, since there is only 25,000.
Oh, so in a way, like how, like, what's your idea behind how that would work? Like, you say there's 25,000 Aavegotchis, right? And you have the Web3 school. So would the idea be that someone would have to go through the Web3 kind of school or like a program, and then
Mhm.
use some of the do some of the Aavegotchi quests within the program, and that would
Yeah,
give, you know, it's like
that
a
is going
proof
to
of existence or verification.
right, exactly. Like there's going to be like the a part of the school that is open for everyone, but maybe also special features for those owning Aavegotchi, like side quests, or even like even if a person don't have an Aavegotchi, he can still borrow one. So it could like let the people more interacting with each other. But yeah, I'm still thinking about some concept. Like I'm really focused right now on designing the quests and like unit testing them. But once I plan to make like just 10 or 11 quests, and once I will have everything, we'll be able to release a prototype. So after that, we think like more deeper about how to make the people more connected with their Aavegotchis.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then, like with your background, are you primarily like a developer, Solidity developer? Or did you learn programming just on your own? Like,
Oh yeah, actually, before I was like working the construction as a flooring installer, but I started like coding 2.5 years, maybe almost 3 years, when I discovered the blockchain technology and what was the Bitcoin all about. So I got really hyped, and yeah, I've made a formation, a 6 months Solidity formation, where we used to learn like from scratch JavaScript, how to make and build a website with React, and also there were Solidity part. So right now I'm still learning and making like this idea, this project live, make me uh, more learn about the Solidity, all the code. That force also myself to think how to implement, or we can find in Web3.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So at this point, at this point in the development of your program, is there anything we could help you with? Like, do you need people to test anything out right now? Like, we do have the Aavegotchi testers that could, provide some feedback if you do need that at this stage. I think that's something definitely people could help you with.
Yeah, feedback will be very important. And also, if you have like some ideas of like quests or content to make people learn, like really non Web3 people to learn from scratch, would be awesome.
Okay,
But again,
perfect.
once I
Yeah.
will have the prototype ready to deploy, I really take my time to think about how I can make people join and contribute to the project.
That's awesome. So what do people need to do if they want to test out your? I see you put a link down in the
Mhm.
chat. Yeah,
Actually, yeah, they just need a MetaMask or frame wallet, which I use, and everything would be like enough. After, if they need Matix, I gave a link in the website. So since it has to be user friendly, I really want to let the people find themselves. And if it's complicated, if one thing is complicated or can be more user friendly, I will be happy to know about it.
yeah, perfect. I think people can definitely help you out with that, and yeah, definitely hit up John Gotchi if you have some ideas or you're interested in trying to test out some features and provide feedback. Um, yeah, I appreciate you coming up here and sharing that with us. That's awesome. We have a great
Yeah,
developer community.
yeah, I
Yeah,
really
very
do my
cool.
best to release the quickest I can. But yeah, many ideas to implement. Thanks for let me speak about my project.
Yeah,
Cool,
of
thanks.
course.
Oh, there
Um,
is a comment of Flame. Could use a tutorial video on the website. So far, I see it's just a test network to check out how decks work. Um, yeah, actually, yes. I was planning also to add like uh, just a written content to develop more about the levels the people will have to complete. Um, but yeah, maybe included, yeah, quick tutorial video in other website.
yeah, that would be good. And
Mhm,
I think you are part of GMI, so we can maybe definitely help you out with
mhm.
creating some sort of a tutorial, helping you create a tutorial around that.
We're gonna have to get into some other topics here, but yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Super nice. Thanks, John, for sharing that.
yeah.
And
Thanks,
yeah, look
and I
forward to the
do.
progress.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so we got our proposal list here. We can go through the proposals that have recently closed out. Um, the I guess the first one there is the launch of Rarity Farming Season 4. That one has now passed as a core prop. So I guess when do we think we want to do Rarity Farming Season 4? And also how are we going to be funding it, I guess, because um, we're going to be delaying the auction, I believe, right? The third land auction. So maybe we can
Yeah.
start off with that, and then we can just rattle through the list, and then The cartridge discussion, it seems like we're coming to some consensus around how that's how that's going to be implemented and the timelines and whatnot. But maybe we can do an overview of that as well.
Right. So Rarity Farming Season 4, so that did pass, and I believe it stipulates that there in the original proposal there was no mention of which pool the ghost would come from. We have the DAO treasury, and then we have the player rewards that were originally kind of earmarked for the Gotchiverse. But I think it makes more sense to just take it from that player rewards. And so that's what we will be doing since the DAO has voted to do Rarity Farming Season 4. So the rewards will be coming from the Ghost player rewards pool. And I would anticipate we should be able to get that done in this month, in July. There's no real blockers to it. We just need to, first of all, we need to get the Season 3 badges deployed, and then design the Season 4 badges. Those are the main two blockers. So I don't think that will take up too much bandwidth. Just a little bit of design work.
In
So,
terms of order, are we thinking like rarity farming season after these harvesters go live, or maybe before harvesters go live? Because I
probably
know that's
after.
a
We're
priority
just
right
very, yeah, everyone's so focused on getting that done.
Yeah, so I feel like
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
So the next one, DYST voting power. I think we're going to be moving on that to do whatever it is we need to do for that. I think we need to just we're probably going to transfer. We got this token from Dystopia, so we will probably transfer that to. Right now it's in a multi-sig, so it's a bit annoying to use. So we'll probably transfer it to one of our team, and they will do whatever we need to do for that next week.
Perfect.
Harvester recipes. I believe we have already made all the changes to the recipe book internally. Just need to update them in the external recipe book. The Aavegotchi token swap, we will be doing that next week. It's been a bit hectic with the July 4th weekend, and also just time zones. Sometimes it's difficult to get a multi-sig transaction done. So we'll be doing that next week. And then delay the third land
Yeah.
auction, went through
Clean-
channeling hot zone. You guys had a little taste of what that would be like yesterday. Hope everyone enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, that was pretty awesome actually. I thought that was a great feature, and even in terms of we talk about interacting with guilds and interacting with your guildies or scholars. I feel like it creates this interesting dynamic where uh, you can coordinate a little bit better because the Alchemica is going to be dropping a little close to your channeling. So you could have multiple channelings happening, in a very local area and have a nice kind of like mini play drop generated. It's kind of cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I think there's been good sentiment around the hot zones.
Cool, yeah. As
And
far as cartridges, I did want to bring up, there's been a little bit of discussion about there's like a couple different identity, like proof of identity solutions. And I don't know if Zombo Breaker, if you're free to talk, but I would love to hear more about the Governor DAO and basically what they could provide. I think that's the main one that people seem to be talking about. My main worry is that we have to people need to buy like a token and invest in some other protocol that's gonna, that's like, I need to learn a little bit more about it.
is this the proof of existence?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a non-KYC KYC basically. Like you don't actually have to you prove you're a human without having to do upload your passport and stuff. We
What's
got
going on, guys?
Jay Greenwood. You're also with
Good morning.
Governor DAO?
Yeah, I'm one of the managing partners and developers over at Governor DAO. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I've seen you guys, and I looked at your site a little bit, but I would definitely love to hear, from you or any community members that have used it. Like, what would this do for the Gotchiverse?
For sure. So, full disclosure, I was kind of alerted about this in the past 24 hours. So, it's going to be kind of brief here, but really, what I'll tell you what we do, and you can kind of glean it from there. So, Governor DAO is a governance as a service framework. We have a Sybil resistant attack vector surface called proof of existence. It's anonymous proof of uniqueness, right? So you have a biometric voice face hash that's served locally and then stored in a credentialing software. Nobody knows who's who. There's no actual data stored, so no voice face markers of any kind besides fingerprinting. So nothing that can be reverse used in any way. No data dumps. This is, completely anonymous, like I said. So I have no clue who's registered. I know how many people or how many wallets are registered. Nothing beyond that. With a single line of code, we can permission any Web3 front end, any contract, JavaScript, MySQL, OpenDB, quite a few other implementations as well. With, like I said, single line of code of permissioning, just literally ERC20 balance of equals greater than 1 or greater than or equal. Really simple, very frictionless. I know that one of your concerns was, cost to users. The current modeling for PoE token on all networks is free. That will change, straightforward. That will change just because of the powerful nature of it. You're looking at something that will probably ramp up to like $20 for all networks eventually. So, very, very low overhead there. Also, too, there's, group rates and everything else for that stuff. But in the foreseeable future right now, it's still free. So it's been around for a couple of years. This is tried and true tech. We're currently working with some pretty big brands in order to implement. So definitely, something that I think, based on my preliminary understanding of what you guys are doing here, would make sense. I'd have to look into it a bit more. That's why I was kind of listening in. I just perked up when I heard our name. So otherwise, though, it looks like this would be, a pretty good implementation for our tech. And, the best place to kind of read more, get some more information, if you go to docs.governordao.org, that gives a pretty good rundown on everything, including our proof of existence. We also have like a proof of existence one pager at proofofexistence.xyz. So if anyone has any questions, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to field them all. So.
Well, after listening to that, does anyone have any questions? Feel free to come up or raise your hand.
For sure.
So when someone wants to get verified, they like do a biometric verification. Is it a mobile app, or what is it that we're using?
No, it's just HTML frictionless. So it's any browser, any iframe, any overlay. So there's no we don't need any specific software, hardware. So to answer your direct question though, so like right now, if you want to go to a central endpoint, you can go to passport.governordao.org or onlyonemee.governordao.org, two separate interfaces for slightly different implementations. Same product though. The user goes there, logs in via Web3. From there, gives cam mic access, takes 3 short clips, about 5 seconds long, centers face, says the best things in life will always be free, which is a phonetic statement that has like 140 points of intonation in it. Gives us a good fingerprinting analysis off of that. Those 3 are averaged into a biometric hash locally using Java, and that pushes out and is stored in a server environment where we can call upon it later. So really, like 1 minute to get that whole process done if you're slow. And from there, it auto mints, or you can self mint PoE token, which is currently on mainnet, Polygon, Kava, really, we have support for all EVM networks. We just kind of chase down grants as we deploy out for usability purposes. But, very, very robust, very flexible, can be used pretty much in any situation.
So they basically, you get the human saying this phrase. Is it possible for them to change their intonation and like re-verify with another address?
No. Because, first of all, I mean, if they change their intonation, their face is still the same. Secondly, if they were going to use a face that's not, the software is extremely robust. This is used by banking apps to, verify users on the fly as well, both in call centers via voice, as well as in actual apps for major banking firms around the world in order to verify an app for, triggers for specific reasons, usually for, balances over or transfers over like 20,000, stuff like that here in the US. So, it's very, very hard to fool. No, deepfakes are not currently an issue because deepfakes, among other things like that, although to users' eyes, they appear to be extremely realistic. Same like if you were to reverse engineer like DALL-E or any of the current, AI softwares for photo image generation, these look great to us. These are not plausible to a AI or computer though, for literally like on the surface, an Elon Musk deepfake looks to us to be unique or to be acceptable. It's like 12% similar. So that's just face. Voice is near impossible to replicate. So that's as far as replicating someone else's. As far as throwing a random in there, right? So let's hypothetically say that you could throw a random, right? Couldn't be a recording because it would realize it's digitized. So you actually pretty much have to say it. Good luck saying that the same way again. So learned speech where you actually have a pattern that you've learned throughout your life, regardless of where you move to, regardless of, your accent changes, whatever, intonation and voice points stay the same generally throughout life and or slightly change. This software learns with you as you age and as your voice intonation changes slightly. It does not allow for, crazy, ridiculous things such as, trying to spit off the head, kind of freestyle a new voice persona. That would be very hard to do. And in the event that you were able to, you would still have to be able to verify with that later and be able to recall upon the exact same, voice intonation to replicate, which I would pretty much consider impossible at this point. So is there theoretical vectors? Perhaps, but you're talking about, maybe 1 out of 10,000.
So it's a one-time process, right? You don't have to verify multiple times, like in different sessions.
So there's two models. So for something like this, correct. For something like this, you would do it once because really it all depends on what type of Sybil resistance you're looking for, right? So if you have something that's more passive, where it's like, okay, to gain entry, we need to know that you're unique, that you're not Sybil attacking, that you're not already in the system, if you will. You perform that operation I spoke of, 3 short video clips, average hash, upload, POE token mint, right? Access is granted. And then, you have a little bit more robust scenarios. Like right now, we're working with Unfederal Reserve for a institutional level, let's call it like anonymous DID, if you will. Something like that would require verification, obviously, because the endpoint is, much, much higher security needs. Millions are being transferred through institutional, regulatory accounts. They have to be compliant. Therefore, we actually have to verify as well. So that would just be a replication of the first process. Instead of 3 videos, it's only 1, and it's extremely quick. So for something like this, it sounds to me, based on all preliminaries and my basic understanding at the moment, that you would just do the primary, have no need for the secondary, and you could just patch people through that way. So literally for most projects, we offer kind of 2 variants. You can either use our global POE, that gives people all the perks of all the other things that currently use our tech, including airdrops, NFT mints, the list goes on and on, kind of VIP clubs, as more and more projects integrate with us. The second would be to white label your own, which I honestly see no value here. If you were to just kind of hook global POE, that's free to use. Hook it in yourself. If you hook it in yourself, that's free for you to use as you see fit. Like I said, down the line, there might be some cost for POE on a token level, but very negligible. And for something like that, it would be very, very low overhead to implement and to kind of keep up and running. So.
Cool. And one last question. Someone mentioned, what about non-English speakers? Is it okay if they're not native speakers, but they have to say that phrase?
Correct. So the phrase is because a lot of Latin languages are based on the same phonetics, right? So Latin-based languages have like 32 or 36. I'll be honest, I'm not a voice linguist here, but 32 to 36 intonation points are about the same through most like English or Latin subvariants. So if you are, it would be like the equivalent of me learning Mandarin. If someone sounded it out for me, or if I could read what's there and spit it out, as long as I continue to kind of spit it out remotely the same way, right? So, I mean, if someone that didn't understand the language at all was like, oh, this says, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog instead of the best things in life will always be free. As long as they repeat that same phrase within reason, then, the data's there and life is great. So non-English speakers, no problem there. That's currently the case. Many non-English people use this. I mean, we're multinational, so definitely have non-English speakers currently using the software.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? Very, very informative. We'll definitely do a deep dive on this and maybe work on a little proof of concept.
Absolutely. We have. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, someone in the chat was asking, would the cost when it comes be paid by the individual or by the protocol using it?
Oh, like I said, so primarily, so the way, like I said, the way that it works right now, you take those 3 videos, within, let's say, an hour, assuming that everyone's extremely slow, you will have PoE token minted in wallet, right? And that would be for gas only. We used to cover gas costs, but as it scales up, that's obviously not very feasible. So like I said, right now it's free. As it does turn, as we flip that theoretical switch to go to a costed model, there's kind of 2 options on that, right? So once again, it depends on how you look at it. If your users are literally using this only for this, which could very well be the case, then maybe it would make sense to kind of, get some sort of group rate or, group discount, if you will, or, approach it as kind of Aavegotchi foots the bill, through a governance, treasury, whatever. That's option 1. Option 2 would be that people would self-mint once again, perform the same operation as right now, only instead of paying just gas, a few bucks, now they're paying $20 plus 8 in gas. So, and once again, that would be all chains. So we have a in-house IP that's pretty powerful. It's a updatable Merkle tree dispenser. So that is able to self-mint and auto-mint on other networks and chains as needed. So you can trigger on one chain and it can mint for you on others. So, that, like I said, that would be a single cost, and that would carry over to all current supported chains and all supported chains in the future within reason, assuming that, another Ethereum gas price, or Arbitrum gas price level chain doesn't drop, it's because we're not obviously going to foot the bill on that. So I know that's kind of a roundabout answer. We had kind of planned on turning the switch on a while ago, and through market changes and changes in our scope, vision, implementations, et cetera, as the years have gone on, we've just kept it free. So a lot of thoughts have gone into it. I don't want to kind of give you a fluff answer, but really it comes down to whatever you guys see fit.
Yeah, I have a question. So that the self-updating Merkle sounds really interesting. That's actually something I've been researching. Do you by chance have do you guys have that open source anywhere? I'd love to see it because it's a really, really cool. So on that Merkle, the hash that is generated by the user is then being added to the Merkle, and basically you can't reuse that one. Is that how it's working?
So, right, I'll be honest. The majority of our stuff is open source. This is not, at the moment, nothing exists like it currently, right? As you probably have realized. So, I can, if you want to DM me, I can kind of share some details with you. To answer your question, though, it works similar to that. So instead of going direct hash of, okay, this is the person's hash, because then you'd be technically transmuting that on chain somewhere, even if it's kind of secret, it's hashed again on chain, right? So, we actually hash let's call it similar to like an MD5 hash. So at any given time, it's like, okay, there's 10 users. This is what the hash is at this time. It represents not only the number 10, but also the users contained therein. That's the variable that's going into the Merkle tree, and that updates over time. We can roll back, roll forward in that case. We can kind of isolate based on that, and also because cross-chain isn't always same hash type, it's not always KEKAK 256, for instance, we can integrate that or change that on the fly.
Yeah, it's not open source. That's yeah. I'll be if you could give me like a text review. It's actually interesting.
Absolutely. I'm going to be honest. I didn't hear much of that. It was really, really that just that last sentence you said was kind of all messed up, garbled on my end. But I think you said just thank you for sharing. I think so.
Yep.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Like I said, anyone has any questions, you need anything, feel free to reach out to me on here. Same, just Jay Greenwood minus the .eth on Telegram, jgreenwood.eth on Twitter. Feel free to reach out. More than happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was very informative.
Anytime, gentlemen.
Yeah, just real quick about that solution. This would not work for a human who then goes on, they verify, and then they go on to run like a local clicker man or some sort of bot locally. This would still not fix that solution, but it would likely
Depends
work
if it's
much
passive
better.
or active.
Well, they've
So-
already verified, so they're a human.
Well,
so
you're assuming that they're
they-
passive. Because if they're passive only and it's only that initial sign up, then yes,
Yeah.
theoretically I could have, like I'm single at the moment, but hypothetically I say, okay, hypothetical girlfriend in the future, you sign up on this account, I sign up on this account, now I go mint 2 VIP NFTs. She knows nothing about Web3. All she did was appear in front of a camera, use her voice and face for a total of 20 seconds or less. That's where that kind of second level comes in. So once again, when you're looking at Sybil resistance as a whole, which I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's pretty much my mainstay in this area. I've done this for 10 years professionally. Governance and Sybil resistance is my thing. Sybil resistance looked at under a scope. It's not obviously just like all other solutions. Yes, let's solve 100%, but really at the end of the day, it's how do we minimize it to the minimal, right? Because there's always vectors and ways around these things to some level. So really, it's like, okay, what type of friction versus user experience do we want? Do we want less friction where it's that, upfront and then it's more passive after that? Or like you had just said, if you want to really mitigate IRL bots in real time, then if you pop verification either at random or at a specific interval or on request, whatever it may be, obviously they wouldn't be able to pass that verification. So if you're looking to kind of anti-bot to the fullest, that would be the way to go. There's other measures to use as well to anti-bot things. You could throw RNGs in there. You could throw, CAPTCHA like verification systems that are on-chain specific. I mean, there's a couple methodologies that could be used there as well. So, you could kind of pair this up with a more passive verification, if you will, so that there wasn't as much friction to, perform a simple translation on the network. You don't want to kind of make it super ridiculous. But I mean, you could, if you did verification, I would be willing to say that 99.9% of bot attacks, unless there's something novel out there making up that 0.1% that I'm unaware of, would be taken care of immediately. We've never once had a bot attack of any kind on any PoE authenticated endpoint. So, we have human chat, for instance, Telegram, Discord, that's PoE verified. It's never even had a single spam message in 2 years. Because I mean, people know, okay, if I spam something, I'm gone forever globally, right? It's not, John Greenwood made a decision to ban this person. It's that's the hard rules. If you're banned, you can't beat it, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of different implementations and use cases for PoE. Sybil resistance was the core of it, and it kind of all spins off of that. But given that scenario, it's really dependent on what level do you want to crank it up to, if that makes sense.
All right. Yeah, very cool. Thanks so much. We'll definitely look into getting a proof of concept on it.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys.
So we don't need to discuss too much about the console. I think at this point, I think we'll let it sit for a couple more weeks here while we look into this and also just think a bit about the general implications of the model. Unless you guys have some top ideas about the cartridge you'd like to go over.
Not specifically additional ideas, because it's the ideas I think are pretty well fleshed out. My question is in regards to if I guess the DAO did vote to turn the keep the spillover off, in the meantime while we're working on a solution, and let us launch the harvesters and the reservoirs. Some of that spillover then is going to have to get accounted for. I was wondering kind of what your ideas might be behind where this spillover might be collected, and then also how we might distribute that at a later date. Or are we not? Or is that spillover not going to get accounted for if we decide to, turn the harvesters on, reservoirs on without the spillover?
It's definitely accounted for. We are keeping track of all the events on chain. It would just be a question of when do we want to deploy it. So, for example, if we have like a big event with that we're trying to attract a lot of new players or like get them to understand the Gotchiverse, it might be a good time to use some of that extra spillover that we've accumulated. But yeah, it's an open question at this point. What if spillover doesn't get turned on in time for the harvester reservoir? We will be keeping a tab on it, basically, that could be used in the future.
Cool. Yeah, I like the idea of event based, and if anybody I guess has ideas around that, definitely throw them out there. We can talk about it for like subsequent meetings. So that's good. That's good. That'll be accounted for. That's the beauty of, I guess, everything being on chain. Oh, I like. I guess hardcore is a comment that there. What if Jared updates the tower defense game and we run a contest? Yeah, test the governor, allow rentals, and make the prize good enough that a botter might try to exploit it. Yeah, actually, in addition to hardcore's point, that is something that the ATF has been talking about, and actually, that's another proposal I should talk to them about and see if they want to get an official proposal out again, because the last time it was unsuccessful. But that is one of the things that they would like to work on, is improving the security of the current mini games, so we can actually have some fun competitions around it and have some guarded leaderboards. So yeah, definitely. If you ATF member, we can talk about getting a proposal together for the DAO.
Yeah, did anyone from ATF ever resubmit it? I mean, it would be appreciated if you could. It's basically gonna pass, but it's just kind of protocol. We prefer it to get quorum before bumping it up to core prop. Not that
I agree.
I think it will get quorum. It's just the vault didn't vote on it that week.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Just copy paste. There wasn't anything stood
Literally.
out there that. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, perfect.
Just duplicate it and put it back up. There's a duplicate button on Snapshot. Super easy.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. If there is ATF member, I am an ATF member as well. But if there is someone in the chat right now that can repost the proposal, that'd be great. Otherwise, we'll get that up as soon as we can there. That's what I had to say with that. The hot zone, we already talked about that. That was a success. I think the sentiment around that was pretty great. Another thing that we briefly had gone over a couple weeks ago, but just something we should maybe just confirm consensus on, is the channeling equaling to petting. I think is a great idea, but I just want to throw out if anybody is against that. I don't know why anybody would be against it, but if there's any opposing points against why we shouldn't have channeling equal to a pet, I think it's a great idea. So yeah, I guess maybe one question for you, Coder Dan, is if we were to implement this, would one gotchi channeling at an altar be one pet for that gotchi, or would that account for like a pet all kind of thing where you just channel one and pet your whole crew? How do you think
It's
that should be
one by
implemented?
one. It's one
Yeah,
by one.
one by one. Yeah. Okay.
I believe so. The code for that, we already ran the upgrade on Ethereum mainnet, and as of a couple days ago, I think we've actually started running that in the actual Realm Diamond as well. So I think it's live because we did mention we were going to do it. So I believe it is already live. I haven't tested yet recently, but should be working. If anyone wants to give a channel and have a check.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't see any opposition to that. I think it's a great idea. So yeah.
And you can still pet as normal if you want. We're just kind of reducing the matic polygon burden so we don't have to do two transactions that are both kind of not really value creating in a way. They're kind of just like they're not spam, but they're like close to it on the Polygon network. So might as well roll them into two, roll two into one.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense to me. And then yeah, okay, so that's interesting. That's it's like I might not need a petting bot then anymore because I do my channelings every day, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna be getting those gotchis pet. Back to the hand petting, organic.
And Vanilla Delphia is asking, will auto channeling ever be a thing like auto petting? The difference between that is that we did take a harder stance in the Gotchiverse and on preventing kind of automation. And so there's like a signature that comes from our back end when you try to uh, channel. So if you just ran your smart contract script to try and channel, it'll give you an error that says signature incorrect. To get that signature, you actually have to have your Gotchi in the Gotchiverse, and that signature is unique for every single time. So you can't go in and get the metadata and like copy and paste it into your script. It increments every time. So your Gotchi needs to actually be in the Gotchiverse. That's one of the checks we have in our backend script. It checks if the Gotchi is in the Gotchiverse. So I mean, theoretically, you could run a VPS, like a virtual private server, to get your Gotchi in the Gotchiverse, and then run a script to get that to get the signature. But at that point, you might as well just go up to your altar and channel. So it's not a huge advantage.
Okay, right on. Auto channeling, auto emptying leads to fully botted P2W background playground. Yeah, exactly. All right, so moving on to I guess the next thing. Is there anything we're doing about friends, glitter? There's been an ongoing conversation around, what is the future outlook of friends? Do we feel like, friends are something we want to keep around? Do we see the utility of tickets moving to glitter? That's something I think would be worth at least discussing a little bit, and get some conversation going on around that, because I guess it's been an ongoing conversation. But what do people think about friends in general moving forward? Do you see friends being a big part of the Gotchiverse, or do you see glitter, playing a bigger role, and tickets, maybe being associated with glitter? How do people feel about that?
Yeah, I know there was a proposal made. It did not. Oh, it did reach quorum, but it was literally 50-50, like 51 to 49%. So no action was taken on that. Very interesting to see that.
That's rare for proposal. It usually goes one
That
way
is
or the other
very
way.
rare.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like it would be a very good conversation to have if this were split down the middle. What are points for and what are points against? Why should we sunset friends? Or alternatively, why should we keep friends?
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the glitter camp. I'm personally in the glitter camp. Personally, I think glitter is going to play a great role. There's a great incentive to stake your glitter, and there's a large amount of glitter out there. So maybe might be a great opportunity to buy. Maybe it's the first opportunity to really use glitter as a currency to buy something in the game, like minting tickets, I guess.
Yeah, what I like about glitter is that it will definitely take off the pressure that there is right now for always having to have this raffle, because everyone knows that like basically we have to do a raffle every few months, otherwise we're gonna have huge amounts of friends, and there is a certain expectation that there will eventually be a raffle. So the raffles could become things that we actually really want to do instead of kind of feeling like we have to do it. Which I would be excited about that. The one thing I would be worried about is that there's like a couple different value propositions for glitter that we're kind of all cramming into one token. We'd have raffles, we would have blocks on Polygon. We might potentially also have, for example, using glitter to purchase potions or something in the Gotchiverse. So there's like a couple different use cases that we would need to try and balance with the price of glitter. Like the raffle, kind of the raffle has its value comes from the expectation that you'll be able to get some sort of NFT in the future. So that's what the value of a raffle ticket is. And the Polygon block, in terms of upgrading your installations, is there's like this time return. You're saving time. It's hard to kind of put a price tag on that, especially for maybe installations that aren't as much yield oriented, like a Gotchi Lodge. So there would be another competing kind of valuation for glitter based on that, and then any other use cases that we come up for. So I think it would be a bit difficult for the market to kind of figure out what the price of glitter should be, which is, I mean, that's interesting. It's it would be kind of fun to watch that. But there's a couple different use cases that we would need to balance. So for example, if the value of one glitter got very high, higher than a fixed price that we put for converting into a ticket, for example, if we said one common ticket equals 100 glitter, currently one common ticket is going for what, like 0.01 ghost or something. So if the value of glitter dramatically exceeded that, we would then we would either let it go. We could say, okay, this is the price of commons, it's just accept it, or we would kind of lower the price of the common ticket, which I think solution one would probably be better. But what we would see is just fewer common tickets being minted and fewer common tickets being entered into the raffle, which is probably okay as well.
This is something I was thinking about in terms of, using glitter. Is how would that affect the probabilities of the raffle currently? Because it seems like, when you first joined raffle 1, 2, 3, 4, you had great odds with a lower amount of capital being staked, a lower amount of tickets. But as time went on, it seemed like you need kind of more and more tickets to actually keep those same odds. But now moving to glitter, like you said, it's kind of correlated to the price of glitter and the price of tickets. So how do you think, I guess the odds, would the odds, do you think, vary wildly from one raffle to the next based on, I think we might have lost Dan there. I'll stand by. I'll hang out up here. I'm sure we'll get him back. But let's take a look at the chat here. Got no future in. Got Dan back. We're
guys,
doing great.
or just closed for like 2 seconds. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so a raffle has this expected value, EV. When we hold a raffle, the market is kind of trying to price the value of all those items in the raffle. That's the EV. And so what you usually see happening is the amount of tickets entered usually ends up reaching, maybe even exceeding the EV of that raffle. And the total value in Ghost of those tickets entered usually ends up being the EV of that raffle. So what you would see is, I mean, the EV of the raffle is not going to change, the expected value of these items. That's not going to change. What's going to change is how much a ticket costs, which would then lead, if the ticket is cheaper than it is currently, you'd see more tickets entered. And if the tickets priced in glitter become very expensive, you would just see fewer tickets being minted, but the amount of glitter being spent would still be the same, because that's the actual EV.
I see what you're saying is essentially people's expectations for what those items are worth. That's kind of correlated to the price of the ticket or how many tickets get entered in based on the price kind of thing. So people are
basically,
expecting. It reminds me of kind of how No Future approaches these raffles too. He looks at the price of the item and then figures out, okay, how many tickets do I need based on what price the tickets are? Because if the item's worth 200 Ghost, you're not going to spend 400 Ghost worth in tickets. I mean, you might, but the majority of people wouldn't do that.
yeah. So that's why, responding here to Mikey J, I don't think we actually need dynamically priced tickets, because the market will dynamically enter the amount of tickets it deems to be worth entering.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we all do that calculation before the raffle. We there's literally a tool built for that. We'll go to Fireball GG, or I don't know if there's there might be other tools. You go there, you calculate what your odds are, and then you figure out how many tickets you want to enter in, whether you stake them or you go to the bazaar and buy them.
Yeah, so I think the raffle side would be okay. So we would need to then think, okay, how about the Polygon block side? If we also add in a raffle, what happens if the EV of the raffle is very high? Well, basically what the other worry would be that the price of glitter would be so high that people would stop using it for their upgrading. They would just get a maker instead. There would be like, there's just going to be this balancing act between the maker investment, and the amount of glitter people want to spend on upgrading. So that will probably also kind of figure itself out. It might be a little bit messy though, but it should also figure itself out.
Interesting. Yeah, like with Mikey J's point, I think it's kind of what you're reiterating is the glitter is set as a ceiling price sort of set by makers. Never really thought of that before, but that ties in with their model too. I think that was one of the big considerations when they were designing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like, I don't know if the ceiling price is set, because a maker just allows you to do upgrades at the same time. It doesn't mean that you're gonna finish your upgrade in 1 minute. That's what you use glitter for. So I think glitter is probably, so like if you can play the game without a maker and you're in like the slow mode. You add a maker, okay, you're in the fast lane, and then you throw in some glitter and you're just like, you're blazing, you're super fast. So it depends on like how speed intense your build is.
I guess that ties in with the strategy too, right? Based on those different archetypes, how people want to approach building out their harvesters and the upgrade levels. So yeah, going back to glitter, I guess, glitter being used for tickets, and in terms of raffles, actually, it doesn't sound like a bad idea then. And maybe that way we can sunset the friends. Do you think it would have any influence over the price of actual Ghost? Because right now people are staking the Ghost for friends, and then they're selling their tickets on the bazaar in Ghost to generate a yield, Ghost yield.
Right. So yeah, that's another question to think about. Is currently there might be some bigger holders who are comfy in staking ghosts, getting the tickets, and then waiting for the raffle. They should also be fairly comfy staking WAP Ghost, the new Aave version, and getting glitter, because they can pretty much do the same thing. They could theoretically just wait for the next raffle. They could also try selling their glitter on the open market, which there's not a huge amount of liquidity for that right now. So I don't really think that would be very successful. But they could try to do that if they wanted. So um, I have not spoken to any of the ghost whales, but if anyone has any opinions or would like to chime in on that, it would be interesting to hear what some of our larger ghost holders would think of this. I mean, we've obviously seen on the vault side, we have 6.7 million ghosts worth of voting split right down the middle. So that's pretty interesting. And then 384,000 ghosts for yes, 305,000 for no. Some of the bigger holders are kind of split as well.
That might be based on their strategies too, because like you said, there's many different ways to do this. There's the glitter staking versus friends, because you can generate yield with the glitter too. You'd just be selling the glitter token instead. Uh,
Yep.
do you think that downward price pressure on the tokens like a bad thing, good thing? Like, is it irrelevant? How do you feel about? I guess if people are going to be farming the glitter token, just in terms of getting that APY, is that necessarily a bad thing, or do you see it as just again, kind of like with the tickets, something that is not really gonna um, impact it too negatively?
Well, it's always good to have less downward pressure, but it's at the end of the day, everything is connected. So the the prices of Alchemica will the appetite that people have for staking, which will then determine the amount of glitter going to that holder. If everything is going down, there's like a flight from liquidity. People don't want to be holding Alchemica that's going down or glitter that's going down. So it's going to lead to the liquidity pools getting smaller. As things are going up, you'll see more entrants, especially in the ghost glitter pool, because that's where the big yield would be, or like you'll see more participation in the liquidity pools. So if you have constant sell pressure and no one buying the token, then you're not going to have a lot of confidence in the tokens.
But then the Alchemica, I mean, sorry, the glitter is meant to have a high utility in the game. Like it seems like there's multiple categories of use cases. It's not only going to be used as something to speed up your build times, but you guys are also looking at it as a potential kind of currency. You were saying, especially when the lodge, for example, comes online, there may be. I know there's been discussion around spending inside of your lodge to decorate. Maybe glitter might be a currency, or with some sort of a transport system. Like there's multiple use cases you briefly mentioned for
Yeah.
glitter, so it could be interesting because you guys almost have in a way a lever on the demand for glitter. You can introduce new reasons for
Mhm.
people to spend it and increase the demand for it.
Yeah, glitter is an important token in the entire economy because um, it's the reward token for liquidity provision. So if the reward token for liquidity provision is strong, then it incentivizes people to provide liquidity, which is obviously it adds health to the protocol. They're going to be more willing to hold the tokens than like the different Alchemica. So there's an incentive to hold the tokens and match them with Ghost, which also reduces the amount of float in the game. And so if there is rising demand for the token for the Alchemica because people want to craft stuff with them, then you'll see this nice feedback loop. So if glitter is like very weak, it has no utility, then it becomes there's not a strong reason for people to hold the Alchemica and LP with them rather than just crafting what they need and then not holding them at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, we have a lot of different like token usages planned for all the different tokens. But yeah, glitter is especially it's going to be an interesting token once the game really gets in the full swing, where we have just things that you can buy potions, you can like use them actually as an in-game currency rather than right now it's just for this one specific upgrading use case.
Very interesting. I think one question that's come up briefly a few times is, people suggesting Alchemica in ways we would use a currency, but I know that's not really the intended purpose. How are you guys thinking of Alchemica as opposed to glitter in a general sense in the game? What sorts of things are you thinking about with when it comes to Alchemica? I think it's more crafting based, and then it seems like glitter is more currency, in-game currency kind of based.
Yeah, just from the current architecture of the game, it's the 4 Alchemica are kind of in the Gotchi loot bag. So you pick them up, you're kind of using them, you withdraw them. And then the glitter token is something we'll be adding in a way to actually deposit it, and it will be linked to your account, not your Gotchi. And it'll be kind of a global balance that you have between all of your Gotchis. So if you that makes it a little bit easier to have like one single currency for things like potions and in-game like purchases that don't really need to go through the blockchain. It'll be more like on Binance, like when you like switch between different margin or like various different accounts you have. Like we don't need to put every single purchase of every item on the blockchain. It becomes pretty overbearing at that point. So we'll likely have the glitter be able to deposit it in the game, and then for like very very light purchases in the game, you'll just be able to spend your glitter right there.
That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. So I mean, we wouldn't see, for example, people buying decorations for land with glitter. Like that's not really intended use case. That would be more like maybe perhaps what we see with the rugs, where you're burning Alchemica to
Yep.
craft it. Yeah.
Yeah, any
Okay.
crafting is going to be that's the domain of Alchemica.
That's very useful to know. As we keep moving forward with this conversation, about how we want to deal with friends. I guess the main focus should be around glitter potentially replacing friends. Uh, but Alchemica is not really going to be related to tickets, for example. It's not really something that's its intended use cases for.
The other question we would need to probably go over for the LP pairs. Right now we have for glitter we have all the different Alchemica LP pairs, and I think we have was it Matic as well, but we don't. I think we also have USDT or USDC. So I think we have the majority of them covered, but um, we would obviously be sunsetting all the friends rewards for those pairs. They would all be for glitter. So just something to that people should be aware of. I think they're I'm gonna have to check if there's any pairs that we don't have think we did axe 1 or 2 pairs for Ghost Glitter. Maybe I think it was Ghost Weath. We axed that one. So yeah, right now we have Ghost USDC, Ghost Matic, and Ghost Glitter, and WAP Ghost. So we might need to add 1 or 2 pairs if there's any legacy pairs that people really want.
Well, between all the Alchemicas and WAP Ghost and then USDC, we have a nice. I think we have a nice selection with the different pairings. Hot Curly Fry says, if the interaction wrapped and unwrapped the token for you, I think he's talking about WAP Ghost, he would be less against sunsetting the friends. I guess that is a kind of an extra step, but is that something that could be implemented in our own UI to where we could, wrap and unwrap in that same kind of staking UI for Alchemica?
Yeah, actually, I think originally we did have a 1 transaction one, but it was not very friendly to, like, I think it was some of the guilds or the vault, because it has to go through a router, and just it was some smart contract stuff that we ultimately decided it was better to just give people the option to wrap and unwrap on the UI itself. So there is that option. It just, if you can you just go there and wrap the ghost and unwrap it right on the UI. So it's with the approved transaction, I think it's like 3 transactions. You have to approve it, wrap it, and then, well, you have to approve again to stake it. So maybe 4 total.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm just reading the comments here, seeing if there's anything else here we can talk about with in regards to the Friends Glitter. Did you say there was a proposal a while ago that actually passed on this? Oh yeah, but it was 50-50. That's right. It was split down the middle. So maybe we just need some more further discussion if you have opinions on why we should keep Friends, because we've heard opinions on why we should have Glitter replace the whole ticket system. But if you think there's a reason why we should keep Friends going, definitely either post in the chat here or you can come up and definitely express why you think we should be keeping Friends. But it seems like I know it's 50-50 down the middle. Maybe there's some large whales that were using the ticket strategy, but you can see even with the current ticket prices, it might be more beneficial to consider alternate. It might be a good time to consider alternate strategies. Yeah. I don't see any other differing opinions, but yeah.
Yeah. Do we have a forum post on this? Probably do, right? If anyone wants to, it would be great to see what the nay voters kind of their points are. I think this is one. I'm gonna have to jump off here fairly soon, but I did want to raise unless there's any other big topics, we can kind of talk about what Dr. Wagme wrote earlier.
I see
He
you
had a
posted
nice thread in the ideation channel.
Are you able to link the thread? I also see you posted up the end tickets at next raffle. So that's the forum post to continue that conversation.
Yeah.
And then for Dr. Wagme's post, is there a specific forum? Is it a forum post or?
This is, he put it in the new ideation channel.
Okay.
Real quick, what do you guys think of all these different channels? Is it better? Is it worse? I feel like now we have the DAO discussion as the OG channel. Not really sure what that, like, obviously we don't want to sunset it, but maybe it's more for discussion of the DAO in general as the, actual DAO, what is a DAO or processes, and then we have all these other channels that you guys have been requesting. but it does get, if we add too many channels, it's going to get very messy, and it's, I think it actually ends up hurting discussion because people don't want to click on like 80 different channels.
Yeah, I agree. I think the DAO meetings channel has been a great channel for talking about the recent events and ongoing DAO discussion. But like you said, maybe more global DAO related discussion could still be in the DAO, like the original DAO discussion channel.
Yeah, I think we'll have to figure it out over the next couple weeks. Another good idea, if anyone wants to spearhead it, I've been working on the Gotchiverse docs. They're coming along pretty nicely. We're gonna hopefully finish up like a first version of them next week. But it would also be interesting to have a Aavegotchi DAO docs, like of here's the template for making a proposal, like basically taking some of our core ideas and actually putting them into some documentation on Gitbook. I think that would probably help the onboarding a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, hardcore, myself, Esmeralda, I think there's a few other people in this little group. We call ourselves the archivists.
Mhm.
So that's something maybe we could talk about. We don't actually have official meetings or anything, but we could definitely talk about that and see if we can get some sort of a template document like that together. I know you guys had a great write-up you'd done way back, early Aavegotchi days, where you had a
Mhm.
whole post on how to interact with the DAO, how to interact with the DAO, how to vote on a proposal, how to create a proposal. And so maybe
Yeah.
I could, bring that out and refresh it and put in a better format for everyone to see.
Yeah, I think we have a Gitbook account, and I think we could just make a Aavegotchi DAO docs as a separate Gitbook. We have like the docs.aavegotchi.com. We have a couple different Gitbooks that we use, so there's no reason we couldn't make an Aavegotchi DAO Gitbook. I don't know what link it would be for. Maybe we don't have aavegotchidao.com. I need to buy it. If anyone has it, let me know. We could have docs.aavegotchidao.com. I don't know, or basically we have an easy link that we could link to. It would go over all that very clearly. What is Aavegotchi DAO? How to vote? What do you get? What are the rewards for voting? Basically, it lays out everything that someone could easily view.
That's a great idea. If you guys want to host it in the Gitbook or a Gitbook, that would be great. Alternatively, also, I know GMI we have a Notion page. We could also,
Mm.
additionally also throw it on there too, for people to access on there and have like a whole section dedicated to DAO governance.
All right. Yeah, let's think about that and come up with some. I mean, Notion or Gitbook, either way, they're both fine with me. So the Dr. Wagner's proposal, I think in a nutshell, he's basically saying he would like to have like basically a DAO representative kind of sit in on the Pixelcraft meetings. So what we usually do, we have two weekly meetings as a company. One is the Monday stand up, where we're basically all the different departments kind of go over what they're working on. And then Tuesday we have a drill down dev call. And then the other days it's more one-on-one or Discord. My feeling on it is it opens a lot of, like, I would be worried that having like the DAO representative sit in on the Pixelcraft discussion could kind of could get a little bit weird, just because like because we do talk about things that we're working on that are not necessarily public at that time, so we would have to like if you're a Pixelcraft employee, you don't kind of talk about stuff that we talk about with the general community.
Yeah, it's
So I'm just worried
non-disclosure.
about like people like DAO representatives would kind of have knowledge about the things that we're working on, which is generally this. It's nothing like it's nothing extremely sensitive. It's just there's products or things that we're working on that we like to surprise you guys with, basically.
I guess my one concern with that, with having the DAO representative being there, is if you guys were talking about something and the word of what you were working on got out, but then you decided to pivot or slightly change the idea when people would get fixated on what was out there, and then that would potentially cause even more infighting and division, or just heated arguments about stuff that would have never happened. So yeah, I mean, I totally see that. I guess Pixelcraft employees, they do have to sign a bunch of agreements too. Like, can't really get the word out on certain things probably. So yeah, I mean, I never thought that was I never thought that was something that could be done. But I guess there's some value in that as well. Like Dr. Wagme had mentioned in his post. But I do agree that having transparent discussions is like open. It's important to like our DAO and actually getting information out. I think you guys have been doing a pretty good job with that. We have the hangouts, we have DAO discussions. Maybe there's ways we can make those better. Maybe if there's things that sorry, I'm losing my voice. I got to get smaller.
Uh, we're definitely getting close to having like an updated roadmap, at least for the Gotchiverse for you guys. We already know pretty much where we're going. We just need to. It takes a lot of prep for like a roadmap blog post. Just everyone's like going on full cylinders right now. It's taking time to actually draft it. But we are just thinking a lot of projects I've seen just have like a published roadmap as like a doc basically, and anyone can see it. It's always there. It's in their official documentation. So very transparent. You can just go and look at, oh, let me go to this roadmap page, and here's what they're working on. Speaking of that, I did just sign up for this Canny, I think it's called. You guys have probably used it without even knowing it. But check this out. So we have this new board. I think I'll get emails from you guys when you add new feature requests, but basically any big feature request, any big or small, you can just drop it here, and it's a nice, concise way of viewing all the different feature requests that we have for the Gotchiverse, and we also have the one for Aavegotchi.com.
Very cool. Is this something you want to maybe do also for the SDK request? I feel like it'd be a good place to aggregate that sort of information.
Yeah, I could do that.
The
And
SDK
you can
channel
actually
looks
leave
like it's been
comments there.
productive.
Yeah, it's really nice. So
Yeah,
if you guys ever, we'll update the feature request channel as well with the links to this. But this should be pretty nice. You can leave comments. You can the cool part is you can upvote stuff, so you can see very clearly what the most upvoted feature request is.
This is awesome, and I think it creates a great line of communication for like these sorts of requests. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, they also have the other part of this software is the roadmap. You got the roadmap, and then you got the feedback. So once we have shared the roadmap, we'll also put it on this site as well. So you'll be able to you can kind of see the features that we're currently working on, and it's almost like a Trello board. You can see what we're working on and what's complete.
Yeah, that's awesome. These are great ways to show, just have direct lines of communication between, what's going on and what people are thinking. So, yeah, it's good. And then the roadmap, I think, is also going to be another. It feels like the right time for a second roadmap. We've kind of run the course of the previously outlined, like the original roadmap. So that's awesome. That's a good sign that we need another roadmap.
Roadmap V3.
We almost need like a roadmap for the roadmaps. Just getting through these roadmaps too quickly. Um, I is there anything else that we need to cover? Pressing issues we need to cover for today? I don't think there is. We covered the proposals. Channeling is petting now. Um, yeah, we have a little bit more clarification on glitter, alchemica, tickets. That's a conversation we should keep going, chipping away at and get to some sort of consensus on eventually. And then the SDK requests. Hopefully, we can get this canny thing set up for the SDK requests. It'd be nice to see that all in the same place. We got Young Abstract. Does Aavegotchi V2 plan on using the graph's new upgrade called Substreams, where queries are 100 times faster? I don't know, Coder Dan, do you know about that?
I have not. Those are very new. I have not looked into those. I assume that it's part of the graph network. Yeah, probably not the hosted service. But we are on the subgraph side, we are working on getting the Aavegotchi subgraphs onto the hosted network, or onto the actual graph network, not just the hosted network. But yeah, I'll look at substreams. Sounds interesting.
Oh, one more thing to clarify with the petting. We still have to pet twice a day, right? So if we're channeling, that's one pet for the Gotchi. Unless we're channeling it twice in 24 hours, we have to, or 12 hours. Is it 12 hours? I can't remember now. No, twice every 12 hours, right? See, I've had my Aavegotchis in a petting bot for so long now, I forget.
Right, you can do it once every 12 hours.
Right. Okay. So if you have your altar upgraded to level, what is it, level 3, you'll be able to, if you channel it twice in that time, you'll get your 2 pets. Oh man, I should know that, but I should definitely start petting my gotchis again. I think it's time. I don't have anything else for today. Do you have anything else pressing that you wanted to talk about, or before you sign off there?
Let's keep moving forward. Everyone have another great week.
You went into bot mode there, but I think what I heard was keep laying down the tracks, keep moving forward, and hope we all have a good week. All right. Yeah, we got confirmation. So thank you to everyone that came out here Sunday morning, hanging out, talking about DAO stuff. It's exciting. We're building a game. Thank you for the Governor DAO and John Gotchi to come up here and hang out with us, share what they're working on. And if you guys want to chat, we'll be doing Gotchi Space tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you guys there. And hope you all have a good week. Let's keep moving forward. Peace out, friends.